So the recording is on. So this is CostX. So the moment you open the software, this is the first interface you are going to see. So here by my right, I have this select, cancel, new building, and new project. So here basically is to select a project, whereby if you have previous project, if you don't have none, you are going to have a blank page here. So here you see new building and new projects. So there are two different things. So in CostX, when you create a new building, that is when you create a new project. While when you click on this new building, new project, you are going to create like a sub category for the project. So we have our residential, we have commercial, we have civil. So when you create a new project, you are going to categorize it either is it residential or a commercial building or a civil engineering project. So here we are going to go with the new building. We don't need to create any category. So when you click on new building, you can see here we need to give our project a name. So I'm going to call this YKSF webinar MEP. So you need to also give the building code. I can use MEP. Then here you can see the project. I have sub project here, so I'm going to just use the default. Then by my right here, I have this standard dimension group. So these dimension groups are what we use in CostX to perform any takeoff. Without a dimension group, you cannot perform any takeoff within CostX, unlike other softwares whereby you can perform with the basic tools. So with CostX, you have to create a dimension group to perform any takeoff. So here are some of the standard dimension group I created. So we are not going to use this dimension group. We are going to create our own dimension group for this training session. So I'm going to skip all this dimension group, and then here I have zone, so we don't need to categorize it in zone. Then I'll click on insert. So we'll allow it to load. So here CostX is ready. We have our project name at the top, YQSF webinar MEP, and I2 CostX by RIB. So the next is importing our drawing before we start any takeoff. So before we do that, I'm going to just brush through the toolbars for CostX. Here we have the home, whereby we have some of this toolbars in here. So I'll start with the drawing. So here we have the drawing. On this tab, you can add drawings, you can edit the drawing property, the drawing set, and you can also promote the drawing. Then we have the print, whereby we have the report. So everything is gray here because we did not import any drawing. So the moment we import our drawing, all this item will be displayed properly. So here we have the working area, especially in MEP, whereby you have different icons and tools to measure. So you can have a working area, you can categorize a certain part to be your own working area for peak search. Then we have the calibrate X and Y axis and reset calibration. So this is for scaling. So before you perform any takeoff, you have to uh, scale your drawing. Make sure that the scale is correct, because without a correct scale, you cannot. So you have to scale your drawing. So without a correct scale, you cannot have accurate quantity. So the next, we have the layers, which is very important too, especially in MEP, whereby it is used to filter drawing. We are going to see how we can use these layers. Then we have the positioning, which is straightforward, the zoom in, zoom out, the rotate, and so on. Then we have the display. You can change the view, and this wireframe shaded and transparent, and this ghost mode I mostly use for 3D takeoff. Then we have the monochrome, the line weight, and line style. Then we have the compare, whereby you can use it to do revisioning, to compare between two drawings and so on. Then the measure distance, Here it is used to measure distance between within the drawing. Then we have the view in 3D. So CostX has this ability whereby even if you are working with uh, 2D, you can also view your takeoff in 3D to see uh, how the drawings and are being measured. Then the next we have the dimension. So under the dimension, we have the creation of the dimension group, and then we have the BIM, also used for 3D takeoff. We have the dimension whereby you can show, adjust, change, copy and paste your dimension. You can edit the controls and so on. Then here we have the type. So CosX has three basic measurement type. We have the line mode, we have the point mode, we have the object mode. So the object mode is used for only 3D, while the line mode and the point mode is used for 2D, whereby you can also use the point and line mode in some cases in the 3D, but you can't use the object mode in 2D takeoff. So it is mostly for 3D. Then we have the zone, which we are not going to edit any zone. Then we have the snap, the geometry and angle. Then we have this mode, which CosX has, the rebar mode. It is used to measure reinforcement and mostly anything that has to do with length and distance and spacing, like the noggins, the roof carcass, and so on. Then we have under this show, we have the overlay, we have the markups, we have the legend, we have the properties on add. So this is also important. We are going to see how we work with this when we start our takeoff properties on add. Then for the revisioning, is mostly for revisioning and also editing and comparing work, mostly when you have change or variation. Then we have this workbook. So CostX has its own workbook, just like Excel. It is integrated in CostX, and it also has some advanced feature than CostX because it has about 10 layers. And with this workbook, you can import your own BOQ format from your own Excel BOQ format into CostX, then link your quantities directly into that BOQ format. So we are also going to do that uh, towards the end of the session. Then we have the subcontractors tab, which we are not going to talk much on this. Then so moving back, we are done with the basics toolbars. So we can now import our drawing. So to import drawing, you can click on this add drawing. So we have uh, 4 sets of drawings to be used for this training session. Sorry, I think. Okay. So we have 4 sets of drawings. I have the HVAC, I have the plumbing, I have the electrical, and I also have another HVAC. So there is a reason why I have 2 HVAC. I'm going to show you that. So to import drawings, you just browse through your file manager where the drawing is located, your folder. So I'm going to click on this. I have mine on desktop MEP for this training session. So I'll first import HVAC. So you can see this drawing consists of 4 pages, 5 pages. So I'm going to import all the 5 pages. So to import all, I'm going to click on this all. So here I have my drawing. Then this is the base unit of measurement. So you can specify the base unit of measurement for this drawing. If your drawing is in feet, if you are using imperial or metric, so you can decide to change it in here directly in CostX. So all your measurements are going to be in feet or in inches. If you use millimeters, it is going to be in millimeters. If you use yards, it is going to be in yards. So we are going to maintain what we have here, which is metric, millimeters, meters. Then I'm going to create a folder. So it is also good to create a folder to categorize your drawings for easy movement. when you are working with multiple drawing pages. So it helps you to easily navigate within your drawings. So I'm going to create a folder for this. I'll call the folder HVAC. Then after that, we have what we call drawing multiplier. So you don't need to worry yourself about that for now. When we get to the main training, you will see how we can use the multiplier. Then the horizontal scaling, you don't also need to worry yourself about that. Then you click OK. So you can see we have our first set of drawing been imported. So before we start, let's add the rest. So I'm going to add the plumbing. So I'll just skip and then change this to plumbing and then click OK. I'm also going to add the electrical. Click all, electrical, click OK. So the final drawing. So the reason why I have this is an AutoCAD file, a DWG. So it is, so I have two of this. I have the layout and the model. So I need the model only. I don't need the layout. So I'm going to import only the model, then click OK. Sorry. I have the AutoCAD file. So I will advise you if whenever you are given set of drawings, if you can get the AutoCAD file, it will be better, especially when you are working with CostX, because working with the AutoCAD file has some advantage over PDF, because we have the block count whereby it is only available using the DWG file, whereby it is only available using the DWG file. So we have all our drawings imported. So the next is to move to some of the dimension group and how we can apply them. So here you can see this is black background. So within CostX, you can also change the background of this if you are not okay with the background. Under the drawing, you can see
No,
here under this.
we cannot hear you clearly.
Sorry, you said you can't hear me clearly. Okay, the recording is on now, so we can proceed. So this is how to filter your drawings to have a clean area to work within CostX. So like we said, for the unit of measurement, whereby we've stated whereby if you want to measure anything that has to do with duct, the pipe, you measure them in linear meter, the fittings count, and the duct areas, we measure them in square meter. So I have a drawing set. So this is plumbing. So I'm also going to filter this. So how do we create this dimension group? So to create a new dimension group, you can see here we have add dimension group, and you can also move to this dimensions and then click on this add. So I will click on add. So this is the dimension group properties. So here you are going to give it a name. So we are going to measure the fittings. So we are going to start with the count. So I'm going to measure WC. So I'll give it a name WC, and then a folder, plumbing. So here we have the measurement type and the default display. So the measurement type is basically what you are going to measure, and the default display is what is going to be displayed. So you can measure, let's take for example, trench excavation. You can measure using the measurement type to be linear, and your default display is going to be in cubic meter, whereby you are going to have your length by your width and the depth of your excavation. So basically that is the difference between the measurement type and the default display. So for this, we are going to use the measurement type to be count. Sorry. And also the default display to be count. So I'll click on insert. So you can see I have my new dimension group created. So we have three ways to measure count within CostX. One, we have the block mode, we have the auto count, then we have the single click. So for this, since this is not DWG file, this is PDF, so we are going to use the auto count. So by my right here, you can see I have this auto count. So I'll click on this auto count. So you can see it has this image search. So I need to capture the image first before I can count. So let's filter the drawing before we do the search. Let's see if we can filter, because some drawings are not okay, we can filter this. So I can now invert. So you can see I have my pipe and also the fittings. So I'll go back to my drawing, still under the auto count. So I'll click on this capture and then highlight the area. So below it, you can see we have show matches above and auto accepted above. So this show matches above, the higher the percentage, the higher the accuracy. While the auto accept is the higher the percentage, the higher it will accept. So let me show you how it works. So I'm going to click on search. So to search through the drawing for the same item. So you can see it's identify 1, 2, 3, 4. So just 4. So this ones in yellow are matches. So the moment I reduce the percentage, you can see it keeps on showing unnecessary matches. So the moment I increase the percentage, you can see it reduces all the other matches. So the higher the percentage, the accurate the search will be. And this auto accept, the moment I increase it, it will accept this. And the moment I decrease it, you can see it accepts this also. So the moment I increase it, it will remove this. So you can also add some of this, like the one in yellow here. If I want to add it to the takeoff, I can easily click on it to add it, and I can also remove it like this. So I'm going to add this. I'm also going to add this. So you can see below I have this matches currently accepted is 6. So I can save my accepted and then go back to my dimension group. So you can see it measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 just within a single click. So this is how you use the auto count feature, and also you can measure directly if you have, let's say you're fitting. So let's count this wash hand basin. I think we have just 2 here, or this sink. So I'm going to copy this, copy dimension group, and then change the name to wash hand basin. Sorry. And then click OK. So you can see after copying this dimension group, it's copied the count also. So I can move to this dimension, highlight everything, and then delete all dimensions. And then move back to my dimension group. So I can measure this directly. Just click on the wash hand basin and then click on the point. So when you move to this dimension, you can see it is on point mode and line mode. So we are going to use the point mode for this. So I'll click on this. You can see I have 1, I have 2, and so on. So this is how you measure using the count mode and the auto count mode. So moving back to the DWG. So basically we have the ducts and the diffusers here. So using this count, let me create another one. Copy this. Ducts, diffuser. So I'll change the folder to HVAC. We can change the folder and click OK. So you can see here, this is DWG file. So the moment I click on Shift, you can see it highlights the entire block. So when you click on Shift and Control, it's going to highlight all the similar items within this block. So that is how you measure using the block mode in CostX. So let's measure the linear, which is the pipe or the cable. So this is a lightning plan. So let's try and filter this also. So you can see in here, this PDF is not a smart PDF because the designer created everything within a single block. So the only thing that was created using different fill is just the lines. So here, when I click on the invert, you can see I have all my fittings here, but I can't filter within others. So that is why it is advisable to use the DWG file. Sometimes when you have PDF, it is not smart enough to identify some of this item. So here we have the cable. So we are going to measure this also. So we are going to create another dimension group. Hope you can all hear me. Okay.
Yes, we are hearing you. Hear you.
So this is electrical. So now the measurement type, we are going to switch it to line mode. The measurement type to be line, the default display to also be length. So I'll click on this and then insert. So we'll get to that, which is the custom quantity. So here I have my cable created. So you can see the moment I hover, it highlights the length in meters for me. But you can see this is not correct. We can't have this 22.2 because we did not scale our drawing. So like I said, the first thing to do is to scale your drawing before you start any takeoff. So how do we scale this drawing? So I'm going to reverse everything. So here we have a distance here. We have 1.8, we have 2 meters, we have 1.4, we have 2.6. So you can select any of the dimension to measure, and you can also use this to confirm. You can see when I hover over this, you can see it shows that this is 12.467 meters, which is wrong. We only have 1.8. So to calibrate this, I'm going to use either the x-axis or y-axis. So this reset calibration is when you set your scale and you want to reset it, you want to rescale the page. So I'm going to use the y-axis and then use this 2 meter. So I'll click on the point, first point, zoom, and then move to the next one. So this is the measured distance, which is 13.8430. So what is the actual measurements now? So tell CostX that the actual measurement is 2 meters and then click OK. So now whenever we measure, we can confirm the distance and the scale. So now I'm going to click on this distance and then confirm. So you can see our drawing is scaled correctly. We have 1.80 meters from that distance to that distance. So our drawing is okay now, so we can filter again. So I'm going to filter this. Invert.
Please, please, when we want to filter, are we just going to
Yes,
click
yes,
on
yes.
the layers
You
and
just
point
click on the
on the
layers
drawing? Is that
and
how
then
we do
click
it?
on the
Or
on what you want to filter. It will
okay,
disappear. Then you click on the invert.
okay, drawing. Okay, the drawing. It doesn't matter any point on the drawing. You
No,
can
you
just
you
click on any
let's say for example you
area
want to
on the
filter
drawing.
the cables or the fittings only. So you click on the layers first. Let me reverse everything. So let's say I want to filter this item here,
Okay,
this cable here. So I'm going to click on these
thank you,
layers
sir.
first. So the moment I click on
Okay,
this layer, it's you can see you have this.
okay, okay,
Yes. So anything you
okay.
click here, if I click the entire drawing, because you can see
Line.
under the layers, we have only 3 layers. Because
Okay,
this is a PDF, this is not smart. With DWG, you are going to have each and every layer listed.
okay,
So here, you can just click
okay,
on this and it will disappear. Then you go back to this invert
okay,
to have what you filtered.
okay.
So
All right. Thank you.
I've set our scale. So you can see this is now the actual distance. So you can click on this, click on this, click on this, click on this. But mind you, when you are measuring cables, depending on the type of cable you are using, if you are using a single cable, so you need to multiply your quantity by 3 or by 2, depending on the number of cables you want to use. Or if you are using the 3-in-1, so you can use your length directly, and you need to also add uh, the sagging and then some allowance for waste. So that is that for the cable. Then for the duct, which is measured in square meter, let's create a dimension group for that. So I'm going to explain some of the advanced feature within CostX now. So here you can see we have what we call custom quantities. So these custom quantities will help you to have sub items. When you measure something, you are going to have sub items to be measured for you automatic using these custom quantities. So let's say, for example, we measured uh, the cable, or we measured let's use the duct. So here we have the duct. So I'll click on dimension group. This is the duct, and the measurement is going to be in length. Then under this custom quantity, I'm going to add another custom quantity. I can call this the duct square meter or the duct meter square. Then I have to specify the unit of measurement also, which is also in meter square. So here we have variables. We have BIM dimension used for 3D model. So when I move to this measured dimension, so you can see I have my uh, custom quantity being added here, which is the duct area. So I can add more. I can add duct surface or whatever I want. So the moment I click, you can see it's now being added to my takeoff. So to adjust this, you click on these three dotted lines. So this is the dimension group expression editor. So this is where you use formula. It has some features whereby you can use functions, mathematical functions. You can see them here, logical, mathematical functions, strings, and so on. So you can use this to perform smart takeoffs. So we are just going to use the basic. So here I'm going to click on these variables. I will add another variable. I can call this the width. The variable type is going to be number, and then the unit of measurement is going to be meters. I'll also add another variable. I'll call this the height, number, meters, and then insert. So to have our ducts in meter square, firstly we need the length. So I'll double click on the length. You can see it's been added to the dimension group expression editor. Then I will multiply this length by what we have here. But before we do that, let's do our, so I'll add this variable, which is the width, multiply by 2 plus the length, multiply by 2. Then I'm going to put this both in bracket. So the expression we are given here is whatever we specify as the width is going to take that and multiply it by 2. And whatever we give as the height is going to take that and multiply that by 2. And then it will times it with the length to give us our square area. So I'll click on the length. Then I can click on this close and then insert. So here, this you can see here we have this properties on add. So before I click on this property as on add, let me measure one of this first. So this drawing is also not scaled. So we can also scale this. Let's scale this drawing, calibrate x-axis, this point to this point, 600 is going to be 0.55. Click OK. So the scale is now set correctly. So now let's measure from this distance. I'll switch to the point mode. I'm going to measure from this point to this point. So you can see here I have the duct in meters. So when I click on this adds on variable and I click on this point, you can see I have my Windows expression whereby I can specify the width and the height, which the default we gave the width to be 1 meter and 1 meter. So and now the width and the height is what? 0.55 and 0.3. And then click on update. So now you can see our duct area is now 5.39. So that is the advantage of using this. So the moment I want to measure this, using this, I can easily switch. This is 3 by 250. So I'll measure from this distance to this distance. Then I'll switch to 3 by 250 and then update. So you can see the square area is 3.57. Can also measure this. Also measure this. So basically that is how you add your dimension group and the custom quantities. So the next we have the area tool, the measurement type, the area, which basically in MEP Takeoff we don't usually use area, but I'm just going to show you how you can use the area for those who are new to the software. So let me just hover over any of the drawing. Okay, so this is a roof. We can use this. Let's scale x-axis distance 4.8. So I'll click on this dimension group and add another dimension group. So we can call this area. You can label it area. Click on insert. So I'm going to use the point mode to measure. So I don't need to complete it. The moment I click on enter, it is going to calculate everything for me. Enter date. So basically that is how you measure area within CostX. So we have what we call the drop when you are measuring MEP. Let's say, for example, here we have the drop. So this is a drawing for the supply. You can see. So we have the drop. How do we measure drops when we have drops within our drawing? So it is also simple and straightforward. So let's use this drawing. So you can see under this HVAC, we have the rainproof shutter, whereby at the roof level, we also have this and some of this item. So let's say we have a drop here, and this drop is about a meter or 2 meters or 600, depending on whatever you want to measure or depending on the distance. So to measure a drop, you are going to measure it using the count, not the meter. So here we can say deduct vertical drop. So I'm going to measure this using the count. Then under this default height, this is where you specify the height of this of the drop. So we are going to assume 1.2 to be our drop and then click on insert. So you can see we have our duct. So our measurement is going to be in numbers, but the moment let me switch to point mode. Let's say I have a drop here. I'm going to turn off this and I have another drop here, another one here, another one here. So you can see when I move, I have my count to be 4 and my length to be 4.80 meters. So the moment I continue, if I have another one here, so it keeps increasing. So 1.2 multiplied by 6, 1.2 multiplied by whatever drop you have. So if you want to change the distance, you can click on this add-on property, click, and then adjust the distance. You can see here, this is 1.2. I can change it to 0.60 and then update. So this is going to be 0.60. You can see the height is 0.60 while this is 1.2. So that is how you add vertical drop, how you measure your duct, how you measure your cable, and also how you measure your fittings. So moving to the workbook area, which we stated earlier, when you click on this workbook, you can see this is a blank workbook. We have our measurement here, our draft measurement here. So when you want to prepare your bill of quantity or you want to import this, so you can generate your workbook using the dimension group. So when I click on this, you can see add workbook, generate workbook from dimension group, and some other options available. You can also import from Excel, which we are also going to do that. So the moment I click on this generate workbook from dimension group, click on this. So I'm going to give this a name, MEP, then click OK. So you can see here we have two folders where we have the electrical and the mechanical. So this is the first layer of the workbook. And in here, our quantity is 0, whereby we have all our quantities listed here. So why are they 0? So CostX usually categorize whatever you have as your folder name to be your summary. So this is the summary for electrical. This is the summary for plumbing. So here, when I click on this subtotal, so it is going to take me to the next level, which is the level 2 of electrical. So under the level 2 of electrical, you can see here we have the area, we have the cable, we have the duct, and we have the vertical drop. So this is all the quantity, the unit, and here we have the rate. So we can easily specify the rate here. I can 450 cable, whatever you put. So I'll just click on random figures. So the moment I move back to my first layer, you can see under the subtotal, I have the total for electrical here. So within this workbook, you can also perform another sub calculation. You can see here under this quantity, the moment I click on this quantity, it will take me to another sheet for me to perform any basic takeoff that I want to do. Let's say I have my total for electrical and I want to do some sub calculations here. Let's say this is power. So here I can add the count, I can add the length, I can add the width, I can add the height, I can add the factor. And also, if I double click on this, after adding all this, it is going to take me to another level. So that is how you work with the levels. So you can see this is 0 also. So the moment I double click, it will take me to the next level within the workbook. So, and you can see these quantities are being highlighted in green. So how do we adjust this quantity? Let's say this is a blank workbook and we don't have all this. This is not generated from our from our dimension group. So you can add this manually. So let's say I want to add the cables. So I can click on cables. Then here under the quantity, I can drag and drop You can see the quantity type is length. So I can change this quantity type. Let's say I don't want to put the length there. I want to use the area, the wall area, the volume, whatever you want to use, you can easily change that within this. So I want to use the length and then update. So you can see this is how you link your quantity with your workbook within CostX. I can give it a unit, meters, give it a rate. You can see I have my total. So you can also measure this like this and then add it to your workbook. So let's say you have your own Excel format which you want to import to use for this bill of quantity, which the next uh, trainer is going to talk more details on bill preparation and so on. So how to add your own Excel format to Excel. So you can see here when you move to the last, we have import workbook from Excel. So I'll click on that. So I'll move to the folder. So you can see this is my HVAC BOQ format. So I'll click on open. So this is the name, this is the notes. You can edit the note and leave it if you want to. Then here we have what we call import control column. So this is more of advanced, but it is simple. So the import control column, it's usually help you to identify where your control columns are. If you have level 1, level 2, level 3. So it is going to identify that and categorize your import into its subcategory. So we'll not talk about that in this session. So the next is the description column. We are going to specify the description column, which is B. So I'll click on this preview to view my BOQ. So under this preview, this is my description column. And here, this is my quantity column. So I'll right click and then assign the quantity column. Then this is my unit. I will right click and assign. Then this is my code. I will right click and assign. Then click import. So you can see I have my HVAC BOQ from Excel being imported in my workbook. So I can easily adjust these quantities here. This is the nominal size. This is, let's say I want this quantity to be here. I can just drag and drop this and then update. So if you don't want it to be displaying this, you can easily turn it off by clicking on this auto drop. So when I click on this auto drop, so if I drag this wash hand basin and drop, it is going to drop for me automatic. Okay. Thank you.
What an
Okay, so
interesting session,
basically
sir.
those
You
are the
have less
basic
than 10 minutes,
measurement
sir.
rules and tools you need to measure MEP quantity takeoff. We need the linear, the count, the area. But when you want to measure some of the advanced items, you need to create a more advanced dimension group. So these are basically the basics for creating all this dimension group. So let's move to the next. So here in my slide, we've covered the setup, we've covered the filter, we've covered the measurement, we've also covered the mapping. Then the last one is the validate. So this is mostly when you have a 3D model. So if you have your 3D model, you can easily check cross-check what you measured in 2D with your 3D to make sure that nothing is skipped out. So we have the benefit of using CostX for MEP. So one, it eliminates manual takeoff errors. It handles multiple discipline.
like the MEP and architectural, structural, and so on, even civil engineering and many more. It supports quick updates when drawings change. It also integrates with Excel, BIM, cost databases, and it also saves time, which is MEP in a click. So some practical tips and best practices for you to take note is whenever you are measuring using CostX is you need to always check the scale before measuring. You can also use color codes for each trade. You can save your template. So whatever you create here, like I said earlier, I have my own standard dimension group, which I've already created for uh, quantity takeoff from superstructure, from substructure to superstructure, and so on. So you can also create your own dimension group and then save them as standard dimension group so that whenever you want to perform another takeoff, you don't need to recreate all these dimension groups. So when you have them created, you can save them and reuse them in your next project. So the next is use dimension group smartly. You can use one per system, then recheck your workbook summaries before reporting. So also recheck the quantities whereby you uh, import to your workbook before you export it out from Excel. So we're on our Q&A. So if there's any question, then we can discuss now before we round up. Any question?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That was a very interesting session, and
Yes.
definitely we will not be able to exhaust all the cost have for us
Mhm.
within our limited
Yes,
time.
yes, yes.
But subsequently, we'll have more engagements in which we invite you over
Thank you,
more
sir.
interesting session. More likely physically, physical will do justice to this software as a whole. Yeah, we really appreciate your time and we are grateful to have you here. So I'll give the room for question and answer now. If there's any question and answer, we'll take two question and answer. Then we'll move to the next topic of discussion. If you have any question and answer, kindly raise up your hands and we'll pick from there. If there's any further questions, so I'll take any question. Although we have some questions during the session,